I started drinking very young, 15. When you're 16, 17, 18 up, or you drink with your parents, that they don't see a big deal, you know. So that's why I had my first drink at a friend's house.
Okay.
But then I went home and bought my own. I stole my dad's and drank that without him. At that point, I had a suicide attempt, and my dad got involved, and he said, okay, now we have to save her life, you know, and he took me now to the most expensive rehab.
So the attempted suicide was at home?
Yes, was at home, but it was I think it was a call for help. My mom heard about, you know, she didn't even know where I was. This boyfriend of mine called her and told her, your daughter's gonna die here. It took time, I think, for society to realize that girls have a problem.
Yeah.
Because when I heard about the 12-step program that I'm working, I went to the meetings and all I found was men. When I think about how many times I could have died.
Yeah. Substance use is becoming an increasingly urgent issue. Reports and real-life stories continue to show a rise in anxiety, depression, and lost potential linked to substance abuse. But there is hope. Recovery is possible. With the right support, awareness, and community, people can rebuild their lives and rediscover their purpose. There is a future beyond addiction. This is the Mendcast. Hi and welcome to the Mendcast. My name is Nice Karanja. This is a space where we get to have honest conversations about addiction and recovery. We also get to hear real life experiences and also people who are making impact in their own unique ways. So today we have a very special guest. I'm excited to have her with me. And karibu sana Wanjiku.
Asante.
Yes, will you kindly introduce yourself and what you do?
My name is Wanjiku Kimani. I am 36 years old. I am a new mother and a new recovering alcoholic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm Kenyan, though I grew up in South Africa. I came back to Kenya around 2013, quite a while back. But I've lived in SA for 13 years before that.
Wow.
So I went to school there, I studied there. I came back after not finding job opportunities in South Africa. That's when I came back to Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes. And I am a writer by profession. That's what I've done. Not that I've studied writing, it's just a passion that's turned into something I did for a career. But to be honest, alcohol never let me get much of a career. So I'll call myself a mother for now and I'll see what comes later.
Yeah. Any books you've published?
No, I don't write books. I was writing articles for the Star newspaper. I worked for Radio Africa Group.
Yeah.
And online, I started doing online work for certain websites.
Yeah.
But as usual with us addicts, everything fails. So that went down the drain as well. So I'm literally waiting to see what life brings me now.
Okay. How clean have you been?
How clean?
Sober how many years?
Free from alcohol is a year.
Wow.
On the November 20th is my sober date.
Yeah.
So a year and a few months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know it's not an easy journey to walk. So as we start, maybe I can start by asking you how your life was before substance use became a part of your story.
Like I said, we moved to SA when I was young. I don't remember much of my actual childhood before 10 years old. But when we went to SA at 10 years old, I found myself in a completely new environment. Wazungu wengi, different culture.
Yeah.
And the way South Africa was at that time, it was just out of apartheid. So the mentality against Black people, yes, there was acceptance, but there was still stigma around. And my dad happened to have a very good job, so we went to the white schools, the best schools.
Yeah.
And the blacks who were there, I don't know if it's still present today, but it seemed like they weren't interested in the different blacks that were not South African blacks. So they weren't interested in knowing Wanjiku. And I was just the chubby kid from a different country with a funny accent. I couldn't speak their language. But the whites were very curious. So I made white friends and my English got better. And I'm a bookworm. Like I said, I'm a writer, and that came from reading.
Yeah.
So I just used to spend my time reading and trying to make friends with people who I don't understand. So it wasn't fun, it was exciting, but it was also very lonely. I didn't have the friends I had Kwai State, growing up in Kenya, you're friends with everyone, the neighborhood. But it was a lot of fun. And life before addiction, I started drinking very young, 15, 16,
Wow.
with those same white friends. And the reason being is their culture. When you're 16, 17, 18 up, or you drink with your parents, that they don't see a big deal, So that's why I had my first drink at a friend's house.
Okay.
But then I went home and bought my own. I stole my dad's and drank that without him, But see, now I'm trying to assimilate the white culture into this Kikuyu man who's very strict. So I started drinking in secret. And through high school, I was drinking. College, I became a professional. And then the real bad stuff happened after, but I think I'm skipping ahead. So the childhood before drinking was normal until the drinking came along, and then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. What would you say was the initial thing that when you took alcohol, how did you feel? Did it give you confidence, belonging? People also say that it just gives them something. What do you think was?
I think I was looking to that confidence, yes. I was the chubby kid, the one who didn't have the best house, or I remember comparing the lunch that I would carry to school with the other kids' lunch. It was never what they had, you know. So I never felt good enough. But alcohol gave me the confidence to be like, yes, I am good enough. Yes, I can speak to this person. Yes, I have some level of control, Throughout high school, it was always a competition. Who's got the best clothes? I think I won because I could drink more than anyone.
Wow.
That was my competition. It's not the best one,
You could
but
drink more.
I could drink more than all the boys and all the girls. And I used to think I was the life of the party, but thinking back, I just used to be entertaining because I was always so drunk.
Yeah.
And then it stopped being fun. So what I was looking for was confidence. And I found it.
When you
And
were high.
yeah, and the freedom to express myself. Yeah.
Okay, so did you just choose alcohol, or were there any other substances?
We did everything. We were running around to parties, and yeah, it was insane. Yeah, but it's God's protection, I can say, because there was many times when I did very many stupid things that could have been tragic, but they were not. But at the end of the day, I think alcohol was the one that got me. Yeah, these other things I never really got addicted to. They were just a phase. I passed through them.
Yeah.
I came out. But this alcohol, I couldn't. Weed I did. When I came back to Kenya 2013, I just stopped. I literally woke up one day and said, I don't want this thing anymore. And I stopped, and that was it. But then I started drinking properly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Wow. Now the other question that just comes to mind is, when did you realize that this is out of control?
When I came back to Kenya, I was looking for work and I couldn't keep a job. And my mom realized that I'm just drinking in the house all the time. And whatever little money I had, I was drinking it. So she took me to a rehab. which was not a very good place. It was run by a sexual predator, but I was spending more time fielding off his advances than actually getting the help.
The help you needed.
Yeah. So, but I left there with an idea that alcoholism is a disease. I had some thought in my head, I can't control it, but it wasn't cemented. I still thought, okay, you know, I'm living in a good home. I'm not dirty. I'm not on the streets. Misi chokora. So I can't be an alcoholic. It hadn't sunk in my head. So I came out and I stayed sober for a year. More so, not even for the fact that I'm an alcoholic and I can't drink, but for the fact that my mom's paid all this money. You know, that's the reason to stay sober. Pure, however much it was, for 3 months. There's expectations. The family's looking, they're saying, oh, this girl went off track, but now she's back. She can stay, she can carry on. And I think I was 25 years old. So I was like, I have time, I can build a career, I can start.
You can rebuild.
Yeah, but I couldn't. So a year later, after trying to work, I think I got fired from one of the best jobs I really wanted. I'd started working at Radio Africa and I couldn't manage. I was arriving to work drunk every morning and then just trying to get through the day so I could leave and drink in the evening. It even got to a point, because, you know, journalism is very event-based. I was on the social desk, so I used to go to events and drink, and as the journalist covering the event, they like, drink, come and eat, whatever, so that you can cover them. So it was an excuse to drink, the job itself. But I couldn't do the job. I was just doing the drinking. So I lost that job and I left home. I ran away from home because obviously I was staying at home. My parents couldn't deal with that. I was making money. I wasn't even trying to think of Nihame, buying a couch or a TV or getting an apartment. All I was thinking was the alcohol. So I left home. I went to go live in a hostel in Gara. So it was like a double life. No one knew where I was living when I was working. You know, I'm working, I'm doing a good job, but I'm going to live in a hostel with girls who were basically prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the hostel in Gara, in that area. So no one knew. It was a secret. They just knew Wanjiku. She's from a good home. She's from SA. She's got good English. She does her job well. Maybe she drinks a bit too much, but you know, they don't know what's going on because all I want to do is leave work and go drink. So that's the year in between, a year and something. And I lost that job and I came back home because now I can't afford to stay in a hostel. And at that point, I had a suicide attempt and my dad got involved and he said, okay, now we have to save her life, you know, and he took me now to the most expensive rehab.
So the attempted suicide was at home?
Yes, was at home, but it was I think it was a call for help because it was a family event and I was just feeling I'm not up to par with these people, you know. So I took a whole lot of pills, but then I called immediately and I said, I've done this, take me to hospital. So after hospital, I went to Avenue Hospital, which is a mental ward. It's like a mental institution. I stayed there for a week and immediately after that, I went to another rehab, again of my own choice. And there was, you know, the meals are good. There's no sexual predator. There's, you know, it's expensive, so it must be good. That's the connotation. Yeah. But I just went there and I had fun. I really didn't do anything else. I got another job. Thank God I've always been getting jobs. I'd just gotten another job online. So I was actually working at the rehab. I was using the manager's computer to do work. So I was not focused on the program. I'd been to this previous one. I had all the notes. I thought I knew everything. So I just went there, had a 3-month vacation, let's say, and came out. Again, the expectations. I need to, now I've been to rehab twice. This is the expensive one. The dad has paid. You have to stay sober. You have to get the job, get your life in order. You're going towards 30, you know, life is passing you by, you know. I couldn't stay sober for more than, I didn't even reach a year. But then the drinking got really bad. It got to the point where my parents at some point were even locking me in the house. They'd take the keys and lock the gate. And unless I figure out how to jump over the fence, I couldn't get out. But I'd still managed to find alcohol. I was getting deliveries. Even without a phone, they'd leave in the morning and find me drunk in the evening. And they got tired. So it's always been a cycle of, I get a job. Okay, I go to rehab. I come out, I get a job. I get the money. I stay sober for a while. I relapse. I drink. I lose the job. I go back home. We fight. I leave. I run away off to somewhere. I get another job. I get the money. I relapse. I lose the job.
A vicious cycle.
Again and again. So this last time, so that first rehab was when I should have seen that there was a problem. But there's something we call a rock bottom. And a rock bottom for people is very different. There's someone who that suicide attempt would have been their rock bottom, but for me it wasn't. Obviously it wasn't. Alcoholism hadn't beat me enough because I still felt I could control it. And I didn't realize it was a disease of more the mind than the physical. I could control the physical, yes, but if my mind had not changed, there's nothing that would change. So the time that it really got the rock bottom I'm talking about is this last time when my mom took me to this last rehab I was in a year ago, November. She literally picked me last year, November 2024.
Okay.
I was again away from home. I'd lost my job. They had kicked me out. I'd gone to stay with my auntie who'd also said, I'm not dealing with this, and she didn't have an obligation to. Here's a grown woman who's just coming to cause chaos in her house, So she told me, you have a job, you've got your money, go live somewhere where you can drink as much as you want. And I did. I actually moved into, I was staying in Utawala. I went and lived in a house 10 meters by 10 meters. I'm not sure how big that is, but very small. With no inside bathroom, the shared bathrooms, which was filthy dirty. And I know people live like that, but if I compare where I've come from, it's a completely different life. But it was fine. For me, I told myself, this is perfect. I can drink in the house. It's my house. I can smoke in my house. No one's asking me any questions. And it was 3K rent. At some point, I couldn't even pay that rent. I lost that job. I was hustling. I was just looking for little bits of money everywhere just to pay the rent, just to drink. Most of my money was for drinking. My budget was, I was making something like 60,000 when I had the job. My budget was to pay the rent 3K, and then how much I'm going to drink each day.
Wow.
And then how much I'm going to eat.
So it was drinking first and then
and then
the other necessities
everything
later.
afterwards. So I couldn't pay that rent. My brother was getting married, and I had said to myself, I'm not going to this wedding because there's an aspect of guilt and shame and you feeling you're not good enough. So I was just like, I'm going to be in my little house by myself. Everyone can go to the wedding. But I got H. pylori and I couldn't drink at all because of the medication. So I stayed sober for like 3 months and I started going to church. And I thought that's going to be a solution. And I stayed sober and I went to the wedding because I couldn't have gone to the wedding if I was still drinking. But my family saw, okay, she's sober, let her come. So they paid for my ticket. I went to the wedding. When I came back, I went straight into drinking again. Proper.
So your brother was
in South Africa.
South Africa. Okay.
So he got married there. We did all that ceremony. But I wasn't even present. I was not present. My mind was just thinking, how quickly can I get back to Kenya, get back to my small house, to go back to drinking, Even with church. And that's something I think we can touch on. The fact that I've tried church, prayers, kuwekelewa mikono, to join this group, that group, youth group, women's group, being baptized, being saved again and again and again and again, but it actually doesn't work. But yeah, so I came back from the wedding. Now I have no house because I can't afford the rent. I met some boy. We started living with him, and he lived on his grandmother's plot in a mabati house.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm here. I'm married. I have a family. But there was no relationship. The only relationship was alcohol. If we were not drunk,
indulging in alcohol.
yes, alcohol, marijuana, everything. But to this day, I'm not sure if I can call him an addict. But I was the one who needed him to indulge me.
Okay.
Because now I'd gone from drinking in bars to drinking in dens because I couldn't afford the bars. So I was going to Changa dens. I was buying the very low alcohol. But I needed him to protect me when I go to those dens. Or if I'm in bed and I can't get up in the morning, he's the one who'd bring me alcohol just to pick me up so that I can wake up and say, I'm going to go do something. My life was it was just a mess. I was not functioning. There's no talk of any work. I could not wake up to go to work.
Yeah.
I was just waking up to drink. Yeah, and I think that was the rock bottom.
Yeah.
So my mom heard about, she didn't even know where I was. This boyfriend of mine called her and told her, your daughter's going to die here. So she came to get me and took me to this last rehab that I was in. So when I was there in the rehab, obviously I'd been drinking. She tricked me somehow, sort of like a kidnapping situation.
Yeah.
I was blacked out. I don't remember much, but when I came to in the rehab, and I was very angry. I was being told that I was shouting. I was saying, I'm going to jump over the fence. You're not going to keep me here. But when I sobered up, I realized that maybe this is the best thing. Because the other option would have been death on the streets of Utawala.
Yes.
So I accepted. And I said, okay, this is it. What do we do from here? I've been to rehab twice. What's going to be different? And that's the aspect of surrender.
Yeah.
That you just realize physically, I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. As a woman, did you face any stigma, any challenges?
Yeah, because as a girl, you're not supposed to be drinking.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, that's what society.
Yeah. And even if you do, you drink like a lady. You drink your 2 glasses of wine, you go home. You don't drink with the boys in the Changa den. But when I was in those dens, I realized it's not so strange. It's alcohol has no limits. It has no haibagui. Whoever you are, whichever strata you're in, it will come and find you.
Yeah.
If the disease is there, it's there. There's no hiding it. Yeah. If you're lucky enough, if someone is lucky enough never to indulge in the amount of alcohol that triggers the alcoholism, then you can live a life and say you never were alcoholic. There's people who have the gene. It's inside you. It's inside. But they never trigger it because they never drink to that level.
Yeah.
So they go on with their lives. But some of us, the alcoholics, the proper alcoholics, when we drink to the point where the gene is triggered, you can't switch it off.
Yeah. The genetic predisposition.
The genetics, exactly.
Okay.
So if you're a man, a woman, a rich person, a poor person, whatever background, it doesn't matter. And that's what I saw when I was in the rehabs and girls started showing up in the rehabs. But it took time, I think, for society to realize that girls have a problem.
Yeah.
Because when I heard about the 12-step program that I'm working, I went to the meetings and all I found was men. Usually men, akona kitambi, or very raggedy looking young boys who you could say are off the streets looking for help, or the establishment who realize they have a problem. But there's nothing for women. There was nothing for women. That was almost more than 10 years ago. But now it's really changing. You find that there's the women who say, I've been through this, I can hold you as a woman. I can tell you my story and I can help you in those unique situations that only a girl can understand. But there is a lot of stigma. They say, you know, ni tabia mbaya. What are you looking for? What are you trying to prove? You're trying to be like a man. Just stop it. Just stop it. And you know how many times I heard that, stop it. But even telling myself, just stop it, to myself, it didn't work. Until you realize it's a disease.
It's a disease, Okay. Were there any fears or doubts you had about stopping or getting help?
I didn't think I had a disease, so I didn't think I needed help. I just thought alcohol is fun. I'm enjoying myself. Why are you trying to stop my fun? Why are you trying to tell me to do things that I really don't want to do? And especially as being successful for a period of time, I'm working okay. I've got the job when I was inactive. Yes, my life is not going as it should, but I've got money. I'm buying my own drinks. Why must I stop, you know? But then you start realizing that all that money is going to drink. So getting help was the stigma as well, being labeled an alcoholic. Alcoholic is that person you see on the street falling down drunk. I became that. In Utawala, I remember there was a street with these deep ditches. I don't know where I was going. I fell, and the mamambogas all across the side, they thought I was dead. And I was wearing a dress. I think it was just daytime hours, and this is a story they've told me. I fell inside, knocked my head in the ditch, came out with sewage all over me. My boyfriend, the savior, the one I told you, he came and took me home, showered me. But I still didn't recognize that I am that typical alcoholic that you say that I'm not, that I used to say I'm not. I'm not the one falling, but I am the one falling. But I'm still not ready to accept that. It's there, it's real. So the mama boggers were telling me, when I was sober for the 3 months, they were saying, thank God, this is not what your life is meant to be. But I couldn't wait to finish my H. pylori medicine so that
you can go back.
It's completely insane, the denial.
Wow. So what would you say in your recovery journey? Where did you get support more?
The thing of the 12-step program that I learned about 13 years ago that I decided to implement now when I came out of the third rehab, I think that's been the saving grace. Because it's always easy to say that you've been to rehab, you've learned the lessons, you've been told about the disease, but what do you do when you're out of the rehab? Because that's just a temporary place. You're not going to stay in rehab forever. So when I came out and I found people like me in a community who said to me, this is how you live life. This is what you do. I said, okay, then let me join this thing because I've tried everything else. It's not working. Nothing is working. The rehab, yes, you learn everything, but what do you do afterwards? So I think the thing that's helped me the most is that the aftercare of people who are like me, who I can speak to going forward, because alcoholism is not just a physical thing, it's a mental problem, it's a mental disease, it's an emotional disease. And when these emotions that I've tried to plug for all these years, they come, who do I talk to? I can't go to the rehab again and again and again. A psychiatrist who's not an alcoholic doesn't know what I'm talking about. So I need my alcoholic brothers and sisters who can tell me it's okay. But the only thing you cannot do is take a drink. Do everything else. Talk to us. but the solution is not the alcohol. Yeah.
Okay. Well, recovery is a journey, not a destination. So you're still in the recovery journey. What can you say is the hardest part of being a recovering addict, and how do you cope?
The hardest part. Sometimes it's even just that label. But I think for me, it's easier dealing with the label because I don't have, I haven't had the time to interact yet with people who ask me, where have you been? What have you been doing with your life for the past 13 years? Because I've got nothing to show for it. But the label is difficult. But thankfully, the family is there to support.
Yeah.
They can see where you've come from and where you are. So everything is coming pole pole. But I think also an aspect of you've lost a lot of time.
Oh yeah, you're trying to redeem time now.
You feel like that aspect of time as well. But we can't turn back time. So we just keep moving forward.
Yeah. So how would you say right now your life has changed to when you compare yourself to the days you were in addiction?
Like I said, I'm a new mom and I'm so happy to be a sober mom.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm present. I am aware of what's happening. I'm not walking around in a haze. I used to wake up and think of the alcohol. I'd just reach over the side of my bed and be sure there's a water bottle there filled with vodka. That was the first thing. If it wasn't there, I'd get a panic attack. How am I going to deal with the day? I couldn't get into a matatu. There was so much fear of living without it. But alcoholism gets you to the point where the fear of living with it has to outweigh the fear of living without it. Because I got to the point of nearly death. When I went into the third rehab, my pancreas was gone. It was swollen. It was infected. My liver was in stage 2 cirrhosis. My kidney was not functioning well. But if that episode had happened while I was on the streets, if my mom had not come for me, because it happened within 3 days when I was hospitalized, within 3 days of being in rehab, I could have died on Utawala streets. And I realized that. I realized that in rehab. And I just said to my God, thank you so much that this is the last time that you've actually saved me. And I literally turned to God. I found him on a different level. Not the, let me go to church and clap my hands. No.
You knew God.
And we're gonna need to pause. Yeah. You get to know him on a personal level. Because when I think about how many times I could have died,
Yeah.
I used to get into people's cars without knowing where I was going. I used to drink with people who were not the most savory characters. I used to go find alcohol in weird corners, walking around drunk, blacked out at night. But I always made it. So I think the difference is realizing that I can't control it.
Yeah.
But it's a part of me that I have to learn how to deal with. But it's not me.
Yeah.
I can't control it.
Yeah.
So the help that comes from my God should be enough for me to carry on day by day. Because every day that I don't pick up a drink is an actual miracle.
Yeah.
Because there was no option. There was no it was not an option in my life to stay 24 hours sober. But every time that I do, I look up and I say, thank you, God. And I pray for the next 24 hours. So I think that's what's really changed. It's a spiritual thing, because what I've also learned is there's a God-shaped hole in everyone, in every addict's heart.
Yeah.
And if you try fill it with alcohol, the alcohol kills us. So I might try fill it with someone, I go into a relationship with someone that's not reliable. People change. Might try fill it with any other drug. And that's a problem with a lot of alcoholics. We might say that, yes, I've stopped drinking physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I'm still empty. And that's what we call a dry drunk. Because you're still acting the same way. You're still doing the same habits. If I'm an angry person, if I'm an angry drunk, but I'm sober and I'm still angry, then I might as well just be drunk.
Yeah.
There's no change. It takes a spiritual change, an actual flick of the switch spiritually, a higher power, yes, to help you be able to carry on with life as it is. There's no other option.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any other option. Physically, I can stay sober, but if I'm not sober mentally, if I'm not making a connection, there's nothing I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think maybe to emphasize on that is step 2
of
the 12 steps, that you come to realize that you need a higher power
to restore
to
you
restore you back to sanity.
to sanity. Yes.
Wow.
Because we were insane. I was insane. I was nothing made sense. But now I can see at least a future that is a lot better. I can see that I'm going to be a sober mom. I'm going to be able to raise my child, being present.
Yeah.
I'm going to hopefully, get my career back on track, even if it's not what I was going. I'm sober. That's the bottom line. I can do things. Yeah. The only problem was the alcohol. Yeah.
Wow. It's such a touching story. Thank you for even sharing with us. Maybe as we go towards ending this, what's one thing that you can tell a person who's struggling with addiction of substances? Maybe you can look into that on your hand. Yeah.
You're not alone. That's what I would say. That's just one of the biggest lies that addiction tries to tell you. That you're the only one. You're that chick who doesn't fit in, or you're that guy who needs to fit in and drink as much. But once we realize we have a problem, we're not alone. There's many, many, many people. And there is a solution. It's not difficult. It's physically, if it's hard for you to stay sober, that might be difficult for a few days. But at the end of the day, you need to realize that you're not alone, and it's possible. There's a lot of hope. There's a future. It's not the end. Yeah. That's the lie that alcohol tries to tell a lot of people, that you cannot live without it, but you can, and there is a future without alcohol.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you even for sharing your story. I take it as such an honor that you're able to share it.
Thank you.
And I know it will touch someone's life out there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for tuning in. We're glad that you got to be part of this story. I think what I've gotten from this story is that you need a higher power. You need God in this journey. And the other thing is that addiction is an illness. So it's an illness of the mind, not just the body, but the mind specifically. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you have any concerns, please reach out to us. I will share her number on the description box below. Until next time, God bless.